It's Coach Mark here for Mr. Triathlon. I've just done a live YouTube video answering triathlon questions, and to be honest, I was really disappointed because when I look back at it, the quality was awful. So I'm just going to re-record it again now. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to answer your questions on open water swimming, and I've got 4 questions that I'm going to go through here. So I'll just do these to remind myself. Yeah. So the first one is, how do you get out of a wetsuit quickly? Well, the way to do this is when some people are really happy, they get out the water and they've got the swim out the way, which sometimes is the nervous part, and then they've got to get to the bike and do a really quick transition. And the frustrating bit sometimes is getting that wetsuit off. So how do you actually get it off quickly? Well, the simple answer is that what you try and do is by the time you get to your bike, you want to have half done your transition already. I'll play a little video up here. And you can see how you would approach a transition. So, excuse me, as you're getting out of the water and you're running, the first thing that happens is your hat and your goggles come off, and you can carry those while you're running. And then what you try and do is, right before you get to your bike, you want to have your wetsuit already half off. So you would unzip the back, take the zip down, get your arms out, and then you can run like that to your bike. One tip I once heard was that you can get your hat and goggles, and you can actually tuck them in the front part of your wetsuit, and then you've got your arms free. If you've got a long distance between the swim exit to your bike, then you've got your hands free and you can run more effectively. So that's a good way to do it. So the next thing is, when you get to your bike, you've got to get the remaining part off. So you get the wetsuit, goes down to your ankles, you push it down to your ankles, and then you actually stand on one leg of the wetsuit, flick your leg out, and then you get that free leg, you stand on the other leg of the wetsuit, and then you're free to get the other leg out. And then off you go, and then complete your transition. So the simple answer is, one of the quickest ways that you can do this is by, making sure by the time you get to your bike, you've half got your wetsuit already, and that's the quickest way to get out of a wetsuit. So the question I've got here is, how best to approach the triathlon swim, as I'm not a strong swimmer and I'm worried about the mass start. So one of the best things you can do if you're worried about the mass start, so the mass start is when everyone gets in to the water at once, and you all start in a big group. So it's not really had to do this over the last few years with regards to COVID. It's been a time trial start, but with the mass start, everyone goes off at once, and if you're quite nervous, then you can be really worried about getting kicked and punched and things like that. The good news is that it's normally nowhere near as bad as everybody thinks. We all watch the elites on TV, and we see them like knocking people's goggles off and undoing the zips and bashing each other's. But most of the triathlons I've been in have been nowhere near like that at all, so it's not as bad as you think. But if you are a little bit worried about the mass start, the simple thing to do is just find a bit more space towards the back of the start. So if you know which way the swimmers are going to go, get right to the back, and then you've got a little bit more space, or maybe at the side as well. And the advice I give to people is just, wait, when the hooter goes off and everybody starts, just give it 10-15 seconds. Literally just talked about taking the wetsuit off, and sometimes, if you struggle to do that, you can lose 10-15 seconds there. So 10 to 15 seconds at the beginning of the swim start is nothing if you just let everybody go. You wait 10-15 seconds, everybody's set off, there's a little bit more clear water, and you get a nice clear bit of water to swim in without everybody kicking and punching. So that's the best way to approach that. So find a bit of space, let everybody go, and then you've got a much more friendly swim on your hands. The next question I hear a lot with regards to open water swimming is, are you allowed to wear a nose clip? And the answer to this is yes. The British Triathlon Federation does actually list out on their website a bunch of things that you're not allowed to wear, like headphones and flippers and socks and all that kind of thing. So you're not allowed to do that. But you are allowed to wear a nose clip. One piece of advice I would give with regards to a nose clip is to tie it on a piece of string and then round your neck. And then if you're swimming along at the start and you do happen to get it knocked off very slightly, then you're not going to lose it at the bottom of the pool, bottom of the lake. You can just literally grab it, fix it back in place, and away you go. And if you also are really quite nervous and you really can't swim without the nose clip, Then another good tip is to get a spare one, maybe on a piece of string as well, and then just tuck it in, you know, where the Velcro is at the back of your wetsuit. And then if you do lose the first one, you can always just get the second one, pop it on your nose, and away you go. So yes, you're allowed to wear a nose clip, but check out the British Triathlon website if you're here in the UK, or your local authority if you're somewhere else in the world, and then just make sure that you're allowed to wear a nose clip. But yes, you are in the UK here. So my last question today is all about wearing the wetsuit in the open water and what temperature you're allowed to or not allowed to wear the wetsuit. I'm just going to read off the screen here, but for British Triathlon again, check your local rules as well. But it's all dependent on the temperature of the water and the distance they allow you to swim for how cold it can be to wear the wetsuit. So if it's 11 degrees, you're only allowed to swim 500 meters in a race. If it's 12 degrees, it's 1,000 meters. If it's 13 degrees, 2,000 meters. So if it's quite cold water, they don't let you swim too far. If it's below 11 degrees, then the recommendation is there's no swim anyway. So oftentimes they turn it into a duathlon, so they might do a run and then a bike and then another run, or they may just cancel the swim altogether and just do a bike and then a run, which is more common, I think. With regards to how warm it can be, you know, wearing a wetsuit, which is what some people worry about. So if it gets too hot, then it's mandatory that you're not allowed to wear it. Just to give, if you're a little bit worried about this, just to give you some idea, I've been competing in triathlons now for just about 20 years, and I've never had one race so far where it's been a non-wetsuit swim. So it doesn't really get that warm here in the UK, and the lakes don't really have that much chance to warm up, so it's a pretty safe bet that you'll always be allowed to wear the wetsuit if you're doing a triathlon here in the UK. And I'm sure there's some, but I've never had one yet. If you've got a question, then please do feel free to ask it, and I'll try and cover it in one of future videos. Please do click subscribe, and I'll see you in one of the next videos, where hopefully I'll have much better internet connection, and then I can do a live video and interact with you guys a little bit more. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon.